Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? My strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe we can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Percent of game developers are indie, but they make only 0.5% of the $200 billion yearly revenue of the gaming industry as a whole. Our intention is maybe not to close this gap, but rather to make it a little bit easier for indies. I'm Idan, I'm head of games at Totem. I've been making games for as long as I can remember. I've won some awards, didn't make a dime, and we founded Totem to help indies monetize. There are a few ways for game creators to monetize. The main one is the free-to-play model, where you're giving the game for free, and then you try to get monetization by either ads or microtransactions. Through Totem, we allow the indie community as a whole to come together and give added value to players as they take their assets from one game to another. If, for example, you go into Project Dino and you manage to go through the entire process of hatching the baby dinosaur, then you get a little dinosaur companion in Dress and Keep, and it's very cute. Every developer has a way to interpret those assets exactly how they want to fit the style and aesthetic vision of their own game. Indie creators totemize their own games through very simple plugins. We think there's a world where indies can make a living for themselves without having to give a large cut to a publisher. We want to help them do it through collaboration.
Hello guys, welcome
everyone
to our Continental Asia and Africa final ceremony. I'm Juliana Benito, female entrepreneur, CEO of Serial, Wildlife Fellow, and speaking from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Hello, and I'm Nissy, game developer, local organizer from Manila, Philippines, and Game Jam Plus Best Game winner last year. Yeah, hello.
And to those of you who are watching, thank you very much, worldwide, for the audience. Writing here in the chat which city and country you're watching us from, and enjoy and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy this live and share with all your friends who work or want to work with games. Today, the live's gonna be amazing.
It definitely will be. Before we give a little spoiler about what's in store for you for today's event, we want to thank our sponsors for nurturing the game development ecosystem around the world and for trusting Game Jam Plus to do just that. So we want to thank Totem, Product Madness, Tails World of Us, Plug and Plus, and of course, Indie Hero. Together, we strengthen this great game dev ecosystem by impacting thousands of people around the world through your support and unique opportunities in making games. Today, we've got an amazing program in store for you. In this live, we will have an incredible panel with great professionals from the gaming ecosystem in Asia and Africa. We'll get to know them, talk about how it's like to be a game dev in their countries, and their expectations for the future of gaming. So that's exciting. Please stay for that. And of course, we will talk a little about the experience of the global final in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Probably one of my favorite countries. And yeah, we will finally find out who of the teams are qualified to compete in this year's Game Jam Plus Grand Final ceremony. Can you tell us a little more about what it means to qualify for the final, Juliana?
Yes, yes, of course. It means qualifying to the final. It means you're gonna go to the acceleration process, and also learn a little bit more how to transform games in business. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that later in the live today. And of course, something we're also gonna talk today, men's event, which the best game of Continental Final Africa and the best game of Continental Final Asia. I think you guys are pretty excited for that. The winners won one ticket and one accommodation for the team representative to present the grand final ceremony here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Yes, we're gonna fly you through the world and bring you guys here. Important to remember, for those who didn't not win but were classified are in the dispute. The teams that dedicated themselves to the development of the game and the pitch can be the winners in the technical artistic category, even being the best game of Game Jam in this edition, will be announced at the grand final in Brazil. So schedule time and work full to be a strong competitor. And now, for those arriving at this point, um, just a second. For those arriving now and still don't know Game Jam Plus, I'll talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, what's important to strength of Collaborate Network. Production, please, the presentation here. Thank you. So, Game Jam Plus. So, what is Game Jam Plus? So Game Jam Plus is a well-developed game developing marathon and a competition. And we call that it's the World Cup of Brain Creations. Pretty exciting, and you guys have been participating on that. So a little bit about our numbers. I'm pretty excited to tell all you guys that we are at the largest World Cup that we ever had. We had 2,000 participants this year. It was about 400 games. So isn't that amazing that you guys are like competing against all these people in the world, learning from them, and getting all this experience from the markets. And now is a very important moment because we are an NGO, and we could not survive without our collaboration and our amazing volunteers, especially the local organizers. So thank you, Nisi. Thank you for every single one that became a local organizer this year. Without you Any of that would not be possible. We wouldn't get our sponsors and wouldn't be able to provide all we did for you guys in the incubation and further in the acceleration. So thank you, everyone, all those our volunteers all around the world, not just the local organizers, but of course the mentors that help you guys through the whole process, everybody that was available for lives, webinars, and put the time into it. We have more than 1,500 volunteers. We apologize if something was not great for you guys, as everyone is donating their time to make it possible. And of course, I wanted to thank you, my whole team from the global organization, because without them, I would go crazy. So thank you, my team, for preparing everything and making it so easy for we to run this program and to expand. And the most important of all, nothing would happen without the jammers. You guys are why we do it and why we want to do it. We have a mission that everyone who wants to work with what they love with game development should be able to do it. The market is big enough for that. And we want to take you to the point for to get you guys to be working or independent in your own studios or for some major game companies, but doing the things you do. So thank you so much for being here, for participating, to staying with us. I know it's a very hard process. You guys work it a lot for a long time. And sometimes we have our lives, we're busy and we have family and we have work. But you guys that stay with us to this point are already winners in itself because you learn from the journey and you got to this point and you're going to be better professionals because of that. So thank you very much for participating, for inviting your friends to participate so we can keep doing the work we're doing. And we will improve in what we did not do well this year. I promise that.
Yes, okay. And now, thank you so much, Juliana, for sharing about the vision and the mission of Game Jam Plus. Of course, thank you also to all of the people in our community. So moving on from that, I'd like to invite our amazing professionals to the stage to talk a little bit about what the game development scene is like in their region. Today's guests are Dan Stern, COO, Scholar of the First Deal, Developer Relations at Dangan Entertainment. Hi, Dan.
Oh, thank you. It's quite a mouthful.
Yeah, and I'd also like to introduce Moaba Alec Mugala, Regional Asia Organizer of Game Jams in Zambia. And of course, my co-Asia organizer, hello, Wafi Harawa. He's a Game Jam Plus organizer in Indonesia, co-founder of Indie Games
Well,
and the head of technology at Agate. Yes. Hello, guys. Thank you for being here. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm good. I'm good.
Fantastic.
Cool. Okay. So, if you don't mind, could we just go around with short introductions from yourselves, share a little bit about your background, talk about how you're working in the game dev scene from where you are right now, and if you guys want to share what your favorite game is right now, that would be cool. Yeah. Let's start with Dan.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Honestly, I'm in video games on accident. I'm not even supposed to be here today. No, it's I was a teacher in Japan for several years. I studied English literature and film, and somehow I find myself moving from teaching into. I was a process engineer at a touch panel factory in Japan, and then I got an invite to join a publisher from a friend of mine almost 10 years ago, and I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. I want to work in games. What is publishing, by the way? So yeah, it still took me a couple of years to figure that out, but yeah, I mean, fast forward to now, and somehow I actually end up using my English degree all the time, a lot more than I expected, which never really happened before, but now it helps in all these weird business senses. It's cool.
That's great. And we're glad that that accident happened. We're all happy you're here. So yeah, could you go next, Moaba?
So my name's Mwaba Alec Mugala. I'm from Zambia, and I studied information technology in university. And I was kind of always curious about video games. Growing up, I always wondered, what makes these characters do these things. So after university, after high school, I was kind of curious. I always used to have like these side projects that I used to get on. And to one day, I stumbled upon the Digital Lab Africa competition, and I was working on a project at that time. And a friend of mine told me, "Hey, you should totally pitch this to the DOA." And I was like, "Okay." So I pitched it, and I ended up winning, and that opened up like a whole world for me when it came to video games. Like I met a lot of professionals from the game.
Uh, I think is he got cut off. Maybe we can move on to Wafi first.
Okay, hello, Nisi. Hello, everybody else. Okay, yeah. My name is Wafi. I'm currently the head of technology in Agate. Agate is the biggest game company in Indonesia, and I'm also the co-founder of IGGI. IGGI is the biggest game community in Indonesia also. So yeah, as for myself, I have been maybe in industry like 10 years, I think. Yeah. So this is but previously I focused on game development, but right now I'm also expanding to the gaming community as well. So that's when we co-founding the IGI and then meet with Agi. Agi is the Indonesia Game Association. Then we have contact with GameJamPlus, and that's when we get invited to be the local organizer in Indonesia. And because I'm the lead of competition division in IGGI, then I became the program lead for the GameJamPlus in Indonesia. I think that's it for me.
That's
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah, I can get back to Mawai. I think
Yes, thank you for joining us. By the way, I was so lonely. I was the only Manila was the only Game Jam Plus site until you guys joined, and then Korea also joined. That's cool. Okay, Muaba, are you good to go now? Yeah, maybe you can go.
Yes,
Yeah,
I had no
sorry.
idea what happened.
Continue what you were saying. So, you got cut off at It opened a lot of new doors for you when you
Oh
won the
yes,
competition.
the competition that opened up a lot of doors for me, and I started working on small projects with other developers from across the countries and different continents. And then I got introduced to the Game Jam Plus by the regional organizer from Namibia, to Teleni, good friend of mine. And from there we just decided to work on uh, bringing more awareness to our countries, our respective countries, because like video games here in Zambia is something that's kind of on the side. No one really pays attention to it that much. So that really encouraged me to motivated me to be a part of the Game Jam Plus community.
That's great. I'm so glad to meet like someone else from Africa, like another person organizing Game Jam Plus. The only person I know is Tuta, so I'm happy to meet someone else. And congratulations on winning that competition.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a very very pageant question for you guys. So, in relation to everything that games provide, its professionals and its consumers, how can we help add to the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals? So, basically, the question is how can we make gaming for good? Sorry, I hit you like the first question was like so hard. Yeah, anyone? Oh, Wafi, yes.
Should we go with the Dan first because in the alphabetic, right? And Wafi is the last one.
Okay, sure. I just saw you unmute and I thought you had an answer. Okay. Dan, you got volunteered. what's turning in your head right now?
I can come up with an answer on the spot.
Okay.
No, so like ahead of this stream, I did some research because honestly, like a week ago, I wasn't aware of the 17 sustainable goals, and part of like the prep that I was thinking of was like, okay, well, what is Japan doing in regards to those goals? And having never heard of it, and I mean, like, I'm not like always watching the news over here, but I tune in with the family. And I've never seen it mentioned, so I kind of figured probably not a lot. But I Googled it, and I found on the government site, you've got like a 77-page document about different stuff that they're doing and all of this. And reading through it, they talk about like they have like reports that I guess are peer reviewed by international communities, the OEDC. And anyway, like I saw some interesting stuff in that regard, but in terms of like what games can do, I think one of the things that at least in Japan they could be impactful, that like apparently is, you know, one of the major goals for the government here is simple awareness. People don't even realize that is a goal. It's kind of hard to move towards a goal if you're not aware that it exists.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel like, I mean, that could empower activists who care. That could empower people to become activists who can care. If they just realize that, like, I mean, it's not just a goal, but it's like I mean, there's like pressure behind it, given the state of the world. And so like, you know, Japan's, I think they're trying to roll everything out to have all 17 goals satisfied by 2030. And now it's 2023. So like they've got 7 more years. Those goals are pretty lofty. So I think there are things that I mean, like the public and artists who are able to reach an audience could do. I think that's a difficult like challenge in art to do something like that in a way that like resonates with people, but doesn't feel like heavy-handed and still, like, you know, like resonates with people on like as both entertainment and message. So I think that's a difficult like sort of design and artistic like challenge, but those challenges, I think, are what, like, some of those limitations make art what it is sometimes.
Very nice answer, Dan. Thank you. I wouldn't have guessed that you came up with that like on the spot. But yeah.
I just made it up. I do think it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I guess I'm coming from like a narrative designer's perspective, where games are also a medium for storytelling, and the stories that we tell are very important. They really have the potential to impact society and make the change for like one person to go out and start helping out these like achieve these goals. Yeah, exactly. Like what you said.
No kidding. That's
Waba
hard.
and Wafi, do you have like anything to add to that?
Okay, so my strategy to go last doesn't work, right? Okay, so let's go second. Okay, so yeah, I think this is very hard question, but I think if I'm to be fair, from the 17, I don't think game can contribute to some of it, right? That some of it is, I think, far beyond what game can provide, such as affordable and clean energy, right? Because we know that creating game actually consumes a lot of energy. Like you need a lot of PC power, etc. Right? But I think from my perspective, in Indonesia, we have a lot of people who are having let's see, a low economic life, right? So, and one of the things that empowers me also as a game developer in Indonesia is that I have 10 years of experience in game development, and I know how how one or two team people can create game and can improve their economical well-being, and for every other person. And because game is one of the industry that requires very creative thinking and logics, technical skills, etc. Which is that's what makes me also want to expand the game industry in Indonesia. So I can help more people in Indonesia, especially to become a game developer, and they can have more money, more income from game, and at the process also increase their capability, quality, and so they can create a lot of things that can create a lot of value. And because I think in Indonesia, especially, a lot of people doesn't know what they should do instead of relying for finding jobs, right? Yeah, that's also what our problem in Indonesia as well. So I think a lot of this 17 goals is there is many of it that relates to the economic sustainable economy, right? So giving back to the community to create community and cities, etc. And game is one of the industry that can be done purely on home from home that doesn't requires anything other than creativity and knowledge and can give a lot of value to everyone, help everyone when they are depressed during the pandemic, etc. So I think this is one of the areas that if we make it work and we can help a lot of people to have their economics increase, also their creativity increase and education increase, and we can also doing all of it from home without having go to the commute, etc. Right? So yeah, I think that's my take. Yeah, of course because that already covered the storytelling part, right? But for me, what really relates to me in Indonesia is that we have a lot of economic problem, and I think yeah, economic problem, transportation problem, etc. And I think related to the 17 goals in the UN, I think a lot of it can be solved when we introduce more game developer to the Indonesian community as well, so they can create value out of nowhere. Like this is one of the keys. Yeah, I think that's my take on it.
Oh, that's a wonderful business-minded answer, actually. Yeah, I mean, I guess because the best way to really support uh, people is to provide them their basic needs. And it's interesting that you mentioned the pandemic because um, the home entertainment industry, of course, received like a spike in sales and everything because we're all at home. So it's really proven to have there's a lot of potential in that market, and if we're able to support like more game developers, especially ones that are starting out, and we get them into the industry and we make it a larger industry, that would be like very substantial and material support. That's good. Thank you, Wafi. Oh yes, Dan.
If I may, like when you asked the question at first, I was thinking like, what can games as like an art medium do? But I like Wafi's approach to this is like it kind of takes like personal responsibility for what can we all do. And I mean, if we're business leaders or if we're even like if it's a very small team, even like Dongan isn't a big team, but we adapted quickly for COVID, and that does have an impact on energy usage. And you know we provide healthcare to employees, so that approach is one aspect of it as well. So you know, there's always room for self-reflection to ask yourself like, well, what can I do? Not what can the government do or who's going to solve this problem, but yeah, taking like personal responsibility, that stuff is a big deal.
Yeah. Thank you. I do remember like I think it was Ian. We had this conversation. Ian Rocklin. He's one of he's the CEO of GameJamPlus. I remember that he was talking about how the game dev, like as game devs, we shouldn't depend on anyone else. Like we should rely on ourselves. Like what can we do right now as our own people right now? How do we help people? And well, I mean, obviously, he went on and created Game Jam Plus, and now we have this huge community. So that's, I guess, that's one way. Yeah. Okay. Muhammad, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. Wow, so many great points. But I think for me, I would have to put it in relation to like gamification, how we can use video games to gamify, certain industries. Like for example, the education sector. I say this because for me, most subjects in school were like very boring and I couldn't like, pay attention. But like if we were to gamify things, like for an example, mathematics for our children, make them more fun to understand, because at the end of the day, uh, making kids see, or making our younger generation see that, there's this is very helpful, and it's not just something that can be a casual, industry. Like a lot of people think video games is just leisure when you're bored, but you can also help it to like, educate people. And you mentioned something about, narratives, telling stories through video games. That's also another way you can like, uh, you know, help in terms of education. So I think for me, the the main aspect of games providing towards the UN 17 sustainable goals is in the education sector, and also innovation, just opening up people's eyes to what can be done outside of what they think video games are. Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Oh my God, an amazing answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Dan, you want to say anything?
No, I was going to ask, like, do you feel like in your local community that you have the tools necessary to educate students, like in those ways?
Us or just Maba?
Specifically Moaba.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So it's something that we're working on. I actually got the idea from, because Tutaleni started this gamification thing in Namibia, and I've been observing it and I've been learning from what he's doing. And I noticed that it's not like you don't really need much to, you don't really need like complex uh, projects to get started. So basically, it's just about like having the basic building blocks, uh, software like like even presentations, just PowerPoint presentations, and teaching kids that you can do this from this and you can make this from that. So it doesn't really have to be complicated. But as time goes on, of course, we would like to incorporate and building and bringing more equipment and software that expands the industry, to show them that you can go from here to there. So it's a work in progress.
How do you feel about like low tech solutions, like even if it's not software, but like game design or development in in like in terms of like if it's creative based, like sort of D&D type role playing, or with systems, not just like role play scenarios, or like board games, like even cards or something like that.
I mean, yeah, that's also one way you can one aspect you can also look at, just to show that games are broad. It's not just about, like, I think those type of games show you the concepts of how can I put this? I feel like the words are here, but the answer is not there. Um, so like in terms of like playtesting, like when you're playtesting something and you're showing people like the concept of how something is supposed to work, but not the actual thing, it just gives them an idea of how it would operate if the actual thing was developed. So you're just instilling that creative mind in their minds, if I can say. Yeah, I think so.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I wanted to say too, like, it was. Oh, sorry, Wafi. Like, I'll just say something, and then, yeah. I think I'm trying, as you were talking, I was trying to imagine like how a world would look like with more gamified things around us. I guess because like the core of gamification or like games in general is fun, and like having fun, and like challenging people to develop skills, developing creativity, critical thinking, stuff like that. If you introduce these kinds of skills very early on in students, I also remember like I also relate. I think all of us related, like when Waba was saying that, oh yeah, like in school everything was so boring, and then we were all like shaking our heads like vigorously, like yeah. So like exactly, like I wish I would have learned more things, and I think I would have if I if like the lessons were presented in a gamified way. Yeah. Yeah, Wafi, were you going to say something?
Yeah. I think it's very interesting that Mawaba talked about gamification, right? So because I work in Agate, and Agate main core of business is gamification, and we have a lot of gamification to the banking areas as well. And it's very interesting that we use gamification to test the employee, right? So the employee is given the game, and we can see their attitude to the game, and if they are easy to, and they are if they are impatient in the game, and it will reflect to the how they will work. So I think it's now become one of the standard in also in Indonesia, and I think it's very interesting that we can use a game like Mawaba said, also in gamification, and that's also what Agate already do to the in Indonesia at least. Okay. And then,
Yeah.
but I think I want to throw one quick joke in here. Yeah. I think one of the negativity in games is that it destroys our eyesight. All of the panels use glasses. I think that's all.
You're so right. Yeah.
I blame painting miniatures. Definitely not video games. Definitely not.
But yes, I hope that we find better monitors like with blue light anti-radiation technology in the future, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys. I want to go out with like just one question, and I guess it should be like our closing, since I think everyone watching right now just wants to come and see the who the winners are. But yeah, so just to close off our panel, what are your expectations for the future of young people who want to work with games in your region? Um, if, do you want to go, Dan?
Are we still doing alphabetical order, I guess?
Oh, I was about to suggest, like, can we get Wafi first? Because, like,
Sorry, Dan.
I'm not letting him get
Reverse
away
alphabetical.
with that thing either.
No, all good.
Okay.
Go for it, Wafi.
I think, yeah, I think if you're talking about a young generation, I think they are very very bright people, and they are very natural to technology, right? Compared to me, I'm like the gen millennials, right? So I think for the future, game will be I think inseparable from the lives of the young generation, because they are exposed it earlier, and they use it to study, they use it to do social with their friends, etc. Right? So I think in the future, I think game will be very 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 important to the lives of the people, and they will take inspiration from it and also use it to improve the world. That's what I hope.
Thank you, Wafi. Wawa?
Yeah, I think the future is definitely bright. I'm actually surprised at some of the projects that come out from Zambia, but it's just a question of having like a centralized body where people can, display these projects and meet the right people. But so far, I think it's going great, and I think in 10 years' time we'll see some amazing projects from here, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for it.
Thank you. Okay, Dan, it's your time.
This is weird. I was hanging out with my neighbor and found out that his kid is 11 and making games in Unity.
Cool.
I know, and he's like using libraries that I guess there's some kind of like social media sharing thing for like making mods of stuff. We make a project, and then your friends make mods of that, and everybody shares back and forth. And I talked to him. I was like, "How are you learning? You're 11, man. What are you doing to learn?" And YouTube, and it kind of like recently I decided I'd try to pick up guitar and like learn how to play some stuff. And I was looking on YouTube for tutorials, and there's everything you could ever want to know. And they show you what they're doing with their hands and all this stuff. And it's just resources that I didn't have as a kid to learn the things that I cared about when I was young. And I'm finding like my friend's son, like after that I started searching around in Japanese on YouTube for tutorials about Unity stuff, and there's just so many resources that are very easily accessible even for very young audiences. And so I think accessibility would be my answer, is that like young people can, if you're like the kind of person that can learn on your own, then you're set, because there's just so many resources online.
Yeah, agree. It's called the YouTube Academy, I think. Yeah. Thank you guys. I think I guess I'll try to answer my own question just to close it out too, so that I feel like I'm a part of you guys. But yeah, for my region, like specifically in the Philippines, I do think that we are on the cusp of this big like acceleration in our industry right now, and I hope that people don't forget that while the games that we make have to be fun, we also should have fun while making games. So no to crunch culture, am I right? But yeah, yeah, those are my expectations for the Filipino game devs. Yes, thank you very much for participating in this event with us. It was an honor, like, truly, to have you here today. It was an amazing panel. Short, honestly, like I want to talk to you guys more. We had a very nice conversation, and yeah, so it will definitely help the game developers watching right now. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wafi and Mawa. It was good to meet you.
Thank you for that.
It was great. It was great.
This
to meet
won't
you
be the
too.
last time. This will not be the last
No,
time.
no, it won't.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. So I want to call back like my partner Juliana. I miss you already. Please come back. Hello.
Hello. What a great panel, Nitin.
It was. It was.
Whoa, I was pretty excited about the question about the UN Sustainable Goals. That took me a lot by heart, because GameJamPlus was created really to give the opportunity for the countries that were not included, the huge video game industry, even though we are a lot of the consumers of it. 25% of the video game consumed comes from Africa, Latin, and South Asia. And then GameJamPlus was created as our partner Totten said, to help those indie games developers really get a share from the market. So that's super aligned with the sustainable goals, especially I think is number 7, the one with the economic equality. And now we are also doing a new step. We had a lot of women that are local organizer, and we wanted to give them even more power. And we will put a goal for us to have at least 30% of the participants of the next edition to be women. So we're gonna go like after that, also because of the sustainable goals. So they also guide us. So I was super excited to know what all other parts of the country, like in Asia and Africa, what they think about it. So it was great questions.
Happy Women's Month. Yeah, that's such a great thing to say on Women's Month, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. As a woman myself, I of course I connect with this goal a lot. As a woman in tech, all my background is in tech, so I was always alone. And now in business, there are not a lot of women in the business industry, so so I hope we can make this go forward.
Yes,
Very
we will.
excited.
We will, Juliana. You can do this.
Yes. So now let's watch a video that show how the last finals in Rio de Janeiro was. So production, please put it here so we can give a little bit about it, what you could get from this competition and this part on. So, as you all saw, Nisa was here with us last year, and I would love to hear from her own experience as a jammer last year. They came to Brazil, and we also have something about Guarana to tell everyone, don't you, Nisi?
Yes. Well, okay. When I was watching the video, I think like it's only been a few months since that happened. When I started crying, I'm like, oh, I miss everyone so much. I miss being in Brazil. But yeah. So the event when so I flew out. I flew like 36 hours, like all the way like from the Philippines all the way to Brazil, and it was the first time I flew like alone actually. So it was scary but also very exciting. And I'm so glad that I was met with like a lot of a lot of the people from Game Jam Plus. I guess I was the first jammer who arrived. It was very early. But yeah, and I was so happy because we were all staying in this one hostel, and it was like having a really long sleepover with like the bestest friends from all around the world. And every time I would eat something, I would order guarana, and I'm still looking for guarana to this day. Please, if anyone in Asia has guarana, please send it to my house. I need it right now. But yeah, aside from that, honestly, it was life changing. I'm not sure everyone knows this, but I went to Brazil not expecting to win, and I was actually telling the guys from Bolivia. I was telling them like, if you guys don't win best game, I'm gonna burn this entire place down. And then they announced that we were the winners. I was like, my bad. So yeah, it was surprising. It was amazing. One of the best experiences that I've ever had in my entire life, and kind of it was kind of I don't know. I guess because making the game, like joining Game Jam Plus, it was a big accident. Like I wasn't working in game dev then. I was working in comics, and then when we won, I think that's when I realized that, oh, maybe I can actually work in video games. And now here I am months later. I started my own studio. We're still working on the game that won. And I also started like an entire community here, even like with Game Jam Plus and with the indie games group here in the Philippines. All very exciting, and I hope you guys get to feel the same way when you guys go to Rio. So yeah.
Yes, thank you, Nisi. To hear from the global winner is awesome. And you guys in Asia has the global winner right now. We'll have for the next sessions. Let's see.
I still hope it's still Asia.
Yeah. So take for a talk, Nisa. And now, my friends, we'll know who the winners were. Are you ready? Did you rewrite? So production, play the video that we know are the winners because we're super curious. So before that, ha ha ha. Congrats to everyone that's going to acceleration phase. Very well done. I saw some of your games that were amazing. You guys are incredible. Asia and Africa. Oh my God. So congratulations for those of us that will come with me to the acceleration phase, because the acceleration phase is done by indie heroes. So we'll probably be talking a lot. Let me explain a little bit how the acceleration phase is going to work. So, of course, you guys will continue working on your videos, on your games. But in the acceleration phase, we'll talk a lot how to build a studio, how to transform and monetize those games, how to do market research, how to become a better producer. So we'll have a lot of topics in the business sense of the game. We will not talk about technical development as we talk about the incubation period. And we also talk a lot about the pitch. A lot of doing great and becoming studio had to do with really having amazing pitch that will always bring you guys to the next conversation with those publishers, those investors, to get the money you guys need to complete this game and launch this game successfully. So for those of you who continue in the acceleration phase, we'll talk a lot about that. And then we will also have a business round in the end. So we already have some European and US publishers confirmed that they will participate in the business section of the acceleration. And if you guys get the right grades and the great pitch, you classify to this acceleration process. At the same time with that, you guys also going to deliver a new build and a new pitch. And with this new build and new pitch, you're going to, for the global award ceremony in Rio de Janeiro, you'll be available for some you get some prizes in the time, like best game of the world, like Nisa got, and also best art, best music, best pitch. So the two things are separately. Like you guys could go to those business rounds, and you guys could win those awards, and you guys could do both if you're amazing. And I know some of you are. That's super important, because even though maybe you have like super great art, it unfortunately does not mean you are ready to go to a business route and talk with publishers one-on-one, because that's a very hard thing to do. And they have like 15 minutes they will give you, and they'll give you no more than that for the time. It's a very harsh market out there, but we'll take you on the hands and bring you through the whole way, teaching everything you need to know to get to this point and be successful and get money for a game. So I hope all of you that classified to the acceleration program will stay with us and learn all these amazing techniques that you guys can have for life. And again, I congratulate you all. I congratulate you all for getting to this next stage. I know you guys work a lot. We have been following you guys, so congratulations.
Yes. Okay, I'm so excited, Juliana. Please, can we proceed and find out who the winners are? I don't know either. So
so you guys are nervous. You guys want to know who the winners are. So now, folks, we're going to find out who are the best games of Continental Asia and Africa. And I want to remind you that today's winning team will win 1 ticket, 1 accommodation travel to Brazil and participate in GameJamPlus Grand Finals, the global finals. To those who didn't win, don't be sad. You'll be competing for the final, and it could be winners in technical astuce categories, best speech, even the best game of the year. So don't be discouraged. We did have winners at the Global Awards ceremony last year, and they were not winners on their own continent. So that did happen, and that could happen also to you guys if you're not winners. But if you are winners, we're gonna find out. So are you ready? Can we disclose? Can you disclose production? So what's the video? What's the video? I also don't know who the winner is. I gotta find out with you guys. Come production.
congratulations!
Whoa, incredible! Congratulations! So, do we have the winners on the chat? Are you guys here with us? Yes, well done.
Congratulations.
So we're super excited to have you guys here in Brazil with us next year. And I hope you guys are able to come. The production, we get in contact so we can arrange everything from travel and accommodation. And congratulations. Woohoo! Super excited.
Yes.
And I hope you guys continue the acceleration. So now, Nissi, your contender, your pupils, the one that's gonna maybe take the prize from you.
Hopefully, I would gladly give it to someone.
Who's gonna be the Asian winner? Ta-da-da! Go.
Find out. Congratulations! Oh my god! I love that game. That was so cute. It hit like the things that I love the most. It's like cooking, cute art, uh, the words. So yeah, congratulations, guys! You're going to Rio.
Yes, Nisa. So I'm super excited. We have great games from Asia and from Africa this year. But like the games we got from Asia, there was like such high level. Like everybody, like the sponsors, they were like super. Oh my god! Oh my god! So we're super happy that GameJamPlus was never very strong in Asia, and since Misa joined us, she's like a power force. This is like amazing. So thank you very much, Nisa, for working with us this year and making able to all that are here participating. Like we wouldn't have Philippines, we wouldn't have Indonesia without you. And then we also got Korea. So thank you very much. You were like a great force for a lot of people that were able to get this opportunity because you work with us. So thank you very much for the time, yeah, and for everything.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for trusting me. I would gladly help Game Jam Plus whatever it needs. I'm the Game Jam Plus representative for all Asian gaming conventions.
Yes, you are. So I think we're done for today. We already have a lot of excitement. Now we're gonna drink a Guaraná, and I put one on the fridge for you, Missy. Thank you very much for everyone that watches. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel that help us with everything, and also getting sponsors that make everything here available with the volunteers and make us able to bring you guys to Brazil and do everything together and have this awesome time together. So thank you, everyone. Thank you again, all the volunteer, local organizers, all the jammers. Thank you, Missy, so much for everything you have done for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. And good night. Well, good night from me.
Good
morning to you.
But anyway.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Welcome to the Game Jam Plus. We are the largest competitive business-focused game development marathon in the world. With the power of cooperation, more than 1,000 volunteers help game developers with their first steps into the game development universe. They are indie studios and developers from all over the world who takes the 8 months process of Game Jam Plus as their gateway to the world of game development. All of this has resulted in more than 1,000 games produced during our 7 editions. Our main objective is to transform games into business. And now you are going to know how we do it. Stage 1. Game Jam. Developers and teams around the world gather to create games prototype in a 48 hours developing marathon. Stage 2. Incubation. Participants receive mentoring from renowned professionals so that the games may grow and reach a professional level. Here, the focus is on the product. Stage 3. Continental Final. More than 120 regionals finalist games and studios meet in 5 major events to compete for the first place in their region. Stage 4. Acceleration. Here, the main focus is on the business plan. We help the teams to get their project ready for pitching for a business presentation, meeting with investors, and negotiation with publishers. From here, we go to the 5th and final stage, the Grand Final, where the indie development world comes together as one. It is at the final that we get to know the best games and where we find out who is the winner of Game Jam Plus, the Game of the Year, a meeting place for all the main agents of the game development industry. You too can be part of Game Jam Plus. Join our community as a participant, local organizer, or official sponsor. Be our +1.
99% of game developers are indie, but they make only 0.5% of the $200 billion yearly revenue of the gaming industry as a whole. Our intention is maybe not to close this gap, but rather to make it a little bit easier for indies. I'm Idan, I'm head of games at Totem. I've been making games for as long as I can remember. I've won some awards, didn't make a dime, and we founded Totem to help indies monetize. There are a few ways for game creators to monetize. The main one is the free-to-play model, where you're giving the game for free, and then you try to get monetization by either ads or microtransactions. Through Totem, we allow the indie community as a whole to come together and give added value to players as they take their assets from one game to another. If, for example, you go into Project Dino and you manage to go through the entire process of hatching the baby dinosaur, then you get a little dinosaur companion in Dress and Keep, and it's very cute. Every developer has a way to interpret those assets exactly how they want to fit the style and aesthetic vision of their own game. Indie creators totemize their own games through very simple plugins. We think there's a world where indies can make a living for themselves without having to give a large cut to a publisher. We want to help them do it through collaboration.